News Weekend Edition.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Marie. Britain's foreign minister says Iran is on a dangerous path after it seized an oil tanker and has summoned Iran's top diplomat. An Iranian state news agency has released a video that apparently shows troopers capturing the British flagged ship. David Martin talked with the top U.S. military commander for the Middle East.
We were traveling with General Frank McKenzie in Afghanistan when those two British tankers were seized. He told CBS News exactly what happened. The first ship was flying a British flag as it passed through the Strait of Hormuz at the mouth of the Persian Gulf.
She was fired upon, subsequently boarded, taken under Iranian custody, and is now deep in Iranian territorial waters.
The second British tanker was flying a Liberian flag.
The Iranians boarded her. We believe they searched for British persons, found none, and then eventually allowed her to continue her voyage.
3 hours later, an American flag cargo ship, the Maersk Chicago, went through the strait with what McKenzie called iron overhead, meaning F-18 jet fighters flying air cover. The Iranians left it alone. The U.S. now has destroyers stationed at either end of the strait.
Do those destroyers have orders to intervene if they see another ship hijacking?
They would only do so in the case of a U.S. flagged vessel coming under attack.
After that interview, McKenzie canceled the rest of his visit to Afghanistan and flew to Qatar on the Persian Gulf to deal with this latest incident. David Martin, CBS News, Al Udeid Air Base, Qatar.
We actually saw a few scattered showers and storms this evening, and really as we head into the rest of those overnight hours, now they're starting to die down a little bit, but definitely packing a punch, and that's why you could see that we do have that flash flood warning. We're going to go ahead and zoom on that. You can notice that includes parts of Letcher County, and like I said, you've seen that dying down over the past hour, but we still have about 30 minutes on this warning. I think it will expire in about 30 minutes, but we have had some reports of some flooding in the Blackie area. The Route 7, there's just several sections of Route 70 around the community of the Blackie area that have just been reported that we have seen definitely some flooding on the roadway. So remember, turn around, don't drown, never drive through a flooded roadway. You can see we also have that flood advisory that includes parts of Knott and Letcher County as well. That goes until about 12:45 in the morning. Temperatures still warm, especially those areas that have remained on the drier side. Those upper 70s to lower 80s up into parts of the Big Sandy region. Those low to mid 70s though, if you're looking down into the Cumberland Valley, like I said, where they've seen just a little bit more rain. But it's those dew points making it feel oppressive as you step out the door. Mid to upper 70s, definitely feeling muggy here in Hazard. Just stepped outside about 15 to 20 minutes ago, and the good news is we are going to start to cool off. And it was very hot and humid today. Cold front arrives, but does bring some soggier conditions back into the mountains. Cooler air arrives pretty quickly with plenty of sunshine after that. We'll talk about that and more coming up in just a few short minutes. Macy.
All right, thank you, Paige. And lawmakers have wrapped up for the night in the day 2 of a special session to pass pension relief. Their goal to pass a plan to help dozens of quasi-government agencies avoid rising pension costs. Mike Fussell is in Frankfurt. He explains the bill that's up for discussion.
Democrats were allowed to introduce 2 plans as alternatives to the governor's relief plan on Saturday. Ultimately, those died. They failed in committee. House Bills 2 and 3 were proposed by Democrats. HB 2 offers up their quasi-pension relief plan, which shifts billions of dollars worth of retiree health insurance money to help fund quasi-pensions and freezes contribution rates at 49% instead of the 84% level that went into effect this month. Now, proponents say it's the most fiscally sound of all the plans offered, but those against the bill raise concern about other state agencies losing funds to help pay for it, some calling it a temporary solution. House Bill 3 solely froze contribution rates at 49%, something included in the Republican relief option, but it would have served as an insurance policy of a freeze if Governor Bevin decided to veto a bill because it didn't meet his specific proclamation or it got tangled in a legal battle. HB 1, which lays out Bevin's desires, did pass committee. It would allow quasi-government agencies like some health departments, mental health, or rape crisis centers to pay their way out of the pension system in one lump sum or over time, or stay in and face higher costs.
That is faster, cheaper, legal, and provides certainty and stability. It doesn't break the inviolable contract.
But I'm willing to do the hard work to try and keep coming up with these answers and solutions. But if we don't pass legislation in this special session, these quasi entities, many of them are going to go out of business.
Now, the ongoing feud between Attorney General Andy Beshear and Governor Mount Bevin now involves a special session. And today, during a news conference, the Attorney General said Bevin's proclamation bringing the session into order is unconstitutional. Remote Area Medical, also known as RAM, will provide free dental, vision, and medical care in Eastern Kentucky next month. They'll hold a mobile health clinic in Elkhorn City on August the 10th and 11th. The clinic will be located in the Lick Creek area at East Ridge High School. Services are free and no ID is required to get in. Hillbilly Christmas in July began this evening, and more than 500 people packed downtown Pikeville for multiple events. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher talked with kids to learn more about it.
Merry Christmas.
No, it's not December.
Really hot.
Hot. Hot. Hot. Hillbilly Christmas in July kicked off in downtown Pikeville Saturday.
They're having a lot of cool events like water slides,
which may be the highlight of the evening.
I've been doing the water slides. The water slides. The slides. My favorite part is today, the inflatables, like mostly every single thing here.
Tables lined with toys for kids to win with tickets.
So I got to go to Walmart, where they helped us, of course, and I spent $3,000 in toys. Second best day of my life, ever.
Which adds up to countless toys.
More than one. 49. That's a very hard question. 30.
Shalebra Bartley helps organize the events.
We're just a bunch of just hillbillies that love Shriner kids and want to make money to take to the hospital.
After Kids Day in the park, a motorcycle parade followed, ending downtown for a rumble in the Riverfield.
Over $584,000 has been raised since they started this.
Eric Hubbard says this 14-year legacy continues to touch lives each year.
Like anybody else, but bikers especially, if they see a need to help a children, someone had a house burn, whatever, that's what we're here for.
Keeping one common goal.
So all the children, their eyes just light up, and it's a great day.
In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Looks like the kids and adults alike had a great time out there today, and Hillbilly Christmas in July events continue tomorrow with an annual bike ride. 50 years ago today, 3 men from the United States made history, and on July 16, 1969, a Saturn V rocket launched, sending Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins into space. Armstrong and Aldrin made history by becoming the first people to walk on the moon, while Collins stayed in orbit. Many locals say this is a day they will never forget.
Man, that was something to see, man. All the way to the moon and landed on it, went right back up and came back with some rocks.
NASA has set its sights on returning to the moon by at least 2024. And as today marks that 50th anniversary of the moon landing, the historic achievement has a pivotal moment in American history and defying the dreams of generations to come. Omar Jamez has more.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
It's a moment that still holds incredible power all these decades later. Everyone who watched live in 1969 remembers exactly where they were when they saw it.
I never forget the moments of Apollo, because I think they were bigger and perhaps so far ahead of their time that they stick in your mind. We sent people from planet Earth to another world. A world we didn't fully know.
It's a feeling shared not just by Americans, but also by the hundreds of millions who tuned in to watch it live around the world.
I remember getting up that day and putting on the television, and it was all over the news back in Scotland, back in Glasgow.
And for those who were kids at the time, it changed what they dreamed was even possible.
Took off my gloves, they were floating here in front of me. That was the moment I was fulfilling my dream.
As this weekend marks the achievements of 50 years ago, one can't help but wonder what kind of achievements will be talked about 50 years from now. It starts with going back to the moon, a plan for 2024 that NASA hopes to use as a launching pad for a new frontier.
This is the proving ground. It is how we learn to live and work on another world
using the resources of that world so we can, in fact, take that technology, take that capability to Mars.
It's a prospect that's already inspiring a new generation.
I was just looking up to all the astronauts, just thinking I could be an astronaut one day. I could do the exact same thing what they did.
But even still, NASA's lunar landing remains timeless, now 50 years later, remaining an achievement for much more than any single country.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In Cape Canaveral, Florida, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Vice President Mike Pence traveled to Cape Canaveral, Florida this morning to commemorate the 50th anniversary. The Vice President visited the Apollo 11 launch site and, according to the OVP, deliver remarks on the legacy of the Apollo 11 mission, the future of human space exploration, and highlight the administration's commitment to return to the moon, Mars, and beyond. In Tennessee, they have a version of Jurassic Park, one of their own, and thankfully these dinos won't bite. A homeowner added some interesting yard art, a bunch of dinosaurs. The creatures are full size and are placed all over the property. The home is in the town of Bellevue outside of Nashville. It's owned by George Bodendark and the founder of the Croc Shoe Company. That's who he is. His executive assistant says there are a total of 4 dinosaurs on the property and it's attracting attention. Neighbors say they don't mind.
It's a fun little place for people to come take pictures with their kids and just look at them. They're fun.
Bodendecker's executive assistant says her boss is doing this just to make others happy. She added he's already bought more dinosaur figures and they're currently headed to the property. And still to come on Mountain News Weekend Edition. People are paying their respects in Kyoto, Japan following a deadly arson attack.
And showers and storms actually increase as that cold front moves in tomorrow. We'll break down that full forecast coming up.